everybody, welcome back to our baking series. I'm your host, Bainlin, as always. Today we are going to be making wheat bread, and this recipe can be doubled any amount of times, which is pretty nice. Growing up, we had to make like 6 loaves of bread because we would give them out to my siblings. However, we've had to modify the recipe so it'll make you 2 loaves pretty evenly. For your bread, you will need warm water, salt, yeast, molasses, though if you don't have molasses, you can totally use honey, oil, white flour, and wheat flour. You can pretty much just add your ingredients in that order. Definitely mix your wet ingredients before you add your dry ingredients in. Another tip is molasses and honey are very sticky, so if you measure your oil first and then your molasses or honey in the same measuring cup because they need the same amount, it'll go a lot smoother and you won't need a spatula as much. So definitely something to think about. I will mix our wet ingredients and I'll show you those. Our dry ingredients really is just your salt and flours, so not much to see there. Okay, so I went ahead and I did our dry ingredients as well because there really wasn't that many. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to combine the two. Now, for someone like me with my KitchenAid and a dough hook already attached, this probably won't be an issue. If you're doing this without such a thing, you might want to just mix it with your hands almost, because it will form dough pretty fast. After we mix that, I will show you the final product of that. We'll go from there. Okay, now that we have our dough mixed, we're now gonna have to knead it, and you just want a clean surface. If your dough's sticky, you can put a little flour down. We're just going to knead it until it's a smooth ball. If you don't know how to knead bread, I'm sure there's tons of other videos on how to do that. Support other creators, guys. After we knead that, we're going to put that in an oiled bowl and let it rise for about an hour. It should have about doubled in size, just about. So after that, we'll see you guys. Okay, so now that our bread's risen in a bowl, which, by the way, you guys are going to want to cover, not necessarily in saran wrap or anything, but maybe throw a hand towel over it, which would be nice. Also, you don't want to just oil the bowl, you want to oil the bread as well. That way it doesn't get too dry while it's rising and crack. So now that we have our risen dough, we're going to put it on the counter. Probably maybe put a little oil on your counter just to help it out. Put it on your counter, we're going to cut it in two, we're going to knead it again, and then we're going to put it in oiled baking pans. My family has these stoneware ones, decent sized loaves, work pretty good. Now that we've kneaded our dough and put it in our bread pans, or oiled bread pans, you actually have to let them rise for another hour before you can bake, just so that they make really nice, light, fluffy loaves. And then we're going to bake those for about 25 to 30 minutes at 350 in the oven. So I'll show you guys the after products of that, and see you guys in a sec. Okay, so once your bread's been in for about 25 to 30 minutes, the way you want to check it is you can either use a wooden spoon or you can just flick it. You want your bread to sound hollow almost. The top should be a thin crust. It's pretty nice. After that, you want to take your pans out of the oven and brush the tops of your bread with butter or some other type of oil, but it just gives them a really nice sheen and helps it not be so dry, especially after kneading them in flour. And then after that, you can just cut them and serve. Yay, bread!